What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode number 99 of Living the Shredder Life. I'm your host, Coach Jesse, and tonight I'm really excited to be joined by two. I got a double tonight, which is really awesome. So, the couple edition is what we'll call it. So, my time, it's me, and then obviously for you guys, it's super early in the morning. So, another amazing testimonial story from down under. Obviously, Australia has been blowing up. If you guys haven't seen that yet or heard about it yet, Australia and New Zealand is just absolutely on fire. Literally just people are I can't even keep up with how many testimonials are coming in of everybody that's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is working. Oh my God, I never thought this was going to be. Oh my God, you can eat steak and butter and actually be the healthiest that you can ever be. So I'm really excited to kind of dive into this story tonight, which is what we do on every Tuesday, where we just do a deeper dive into another amazing shred testimonial. We jump into the community, we pull these amazing rock stars, and then we kind of share with you. Hopefully something resonates. Hopefully something touches with you. If you're just jumping in, please jump into the comments. Let us know where it is you're coming in from. Make sure to say hello. And without further ado, let's get to the meat and butter, if you will. So welcome to the call, James and Jennifer Burch.
Good day.
Hi, Jesse.
What's up, guys? Look at you guys, glowing, shining, smiling. I mean, if there it is, there's a testimonial right there, right? Look how amazing you guys look and how enthusiastic you guys are. I mean, that's really what life is all about, right?
It certainly is.
For sure. All right, so let's dive in. You guys can pick. I would say ladies first, but that's me, right? So let's dive in. So somebody that doesn't know you guys, people that are just kind of coming in, share a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Kind of what's your past history? How long you kind of been in the health and wellness space, and maybe what are you passionate about?
Sure. So we live in Maitland, which is in New South Wales, about 2 hours from Sydney.
Okay.
And I'm 62 years young.
Yeah.
And I've been with ERShred now probably over 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And, feeling good. Introduced to ERShred by my daughter. Yeah. Sort of thought, well, we'll do it to support her. And wow, great results.
Yeah.
So I've been plodding along. And I stumbled across the ERShred group. And I sort of, watched in the background and thought, okay, what is all this ERShred?
Yeah.
So I sort of picked a little bit of piece, and and we've also been taught that you never incubate shakes, you never warm shakes. So that was really unusual for me.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I decided to give it a bit of a trial. I picked a little bit of pieces. Anyway, I decided to jump in straight in and decided to do the whole 11 days properly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The results were amazing.
Yeah, and we'll get to those for sure.
Yes.
We'll get to those for sure.
Yes.
So, Jennifer, what are you passionate about? What's your passion? What do you do every day?
So I get to work from home now since we've had COVID, so we've been able to work from home. So I go into the office once a fortnight. So I work for the government. What else? So my passion. I'm very passionate. I think for me is helping others fulfill a healthy life. At 62 years of age, I see people struggling, and I think, my passion is I just want them to feel as good as we do.
Yeah. Did you struggle before your daughter introduced you to the traditional isogenics way 7 years ago? Where were you at when she kind of brought isogenics into your life?
Well, to be honest, I just thought, being tired was just part of life. That's how we're all supposed to feel. Yeah. You wake up tired, you just struggle through life feeling tired. That's just not sleeping as well, Yeah. And we also have a son with special needs, so we really struggled with getting good sleep and having the energy. But
did you chalk that up to this is just me getting older? This is just kind of how life is supposed to be. Did you kind of fall into that, I guess, mind trap, if you will?
I think for me, it was just part of life, because you see everybody around, was struggling with energy. That's just life, suck it up.
Yeah.
Suck it
Suck it up, keep charging on, right? You got to show up for as parents, you got to show up for obviously your son. I get it. I mean, I hear these stories all too often. People just kind of get to a certain point. Usually it's like around 40, which is really scary. That people start to be like, oh, I guess this is just the way life's going to be. And I'm supposed to be tired. I'm supposed to be sick. I'm supposed to, it's my body's degrading. And we kind of get into these false stories, so that's crazy. So I'm glad to hear that obviously things are very different for you now, which we'll dive into. So thanks for sharing that. And what about you, James? Tell us a little bit about you. Kind of what's your story? Where were you at before this kind of came in, and what are you passionate about? What do you love to do?
Okay. Well, obviously I'm not originally from Australia. I'm from the US of A. And when I retired at the young age of 59, I was living in Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, you mentioned, at the age of 40, most people begin to sort of see some decline.
Yeah.
And as I look back, I think probably up until about age 40, I was very athletic, played a lot of basketball, different things, ran a lot. But then when I started working and trying to move up the corporate ladder, I found myself spending more time thinking about progression upward in terms of my career and less on my health and fitness.
Yeah.
So when I retired at the age of 59, I was probably up around 235 to 40 pounds. I was wearing a triple X polo shirt. My waist and pants size was a 40. And when I got to Australia, instead of enjoying retirement, I found myself basically just spending all of my time on the lounge with the TV remote. Jennifer want me to, let's go out and do something. And I would be moaning and groaning because literally if we went out to the mall, the first thing I wanted to do as soon as we entered the mall, I said, well, Jennifer, I'm going to be sitting here. Let me know when you're done. Because I just didn't have the energy to even walk around.
Wow.
I couldn't sleep at night. And I look back now, and it's probably because I had all of that extra weight sort of pushing down on me.
Yeah.
I was going to the gym and I was spending probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but essentially that just made me feel more tired.
Yeah.
And I would come home and literally didn't want to move for the rest of the day.
Wow.
Fortunately, again, Jennifer, when she started her isogenics journey, I guess I was still in that brain fog. So I said, nah, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I was just content to just keep doing what I was doing, which was basically nothing. And then finally, after watching her sort of get that energy, feeling, good, she lost what she called her muffin top. And I'm still sitting around in that triple X polo shirt.
Yeah.
And for those guys out there that probably had to have the same issue, I had the man moves working. And finally, I decided, okay, well, let me give this isogenics a try.
Yeah.
And so after I jumped on board, after about 3 or 4 weeks, then I began to realize, okay, now I see what Jennifer is beginning to experience. I began to not only lose the weight, but I think more importantly, my mindset sort of changed. Before, I would always say, I'm too old, or, I couldn't even really hardly get down to tie up my shoe. A lot of times I have to say, Jennifer, can you tie my shoelaces up for me? Because it was just a struggle to bend over. And as far as what I'm passionate about, I've got 3 grandsons. And I look back, if I had stayed on the track that I was going, I would not be able to do anything in terms of enjoying, time with them. Now I can really say that they have a difficult time trying to keep up with me.
My man. Yes. Yeah.
And then secondly, like Jennifer said, I just look at, people that are I'll tell you a little funny story. Jennifer talked me into signing up to go into this seniors fitness class. And so I rocked up in there, and all the seniors were there, and they were all excited. Are you the new instructor? And I said, well, no, I'm just here for the class like you all are.
Yeah.
So now I will turn 72 years young this Christmas Day. And I can tell you that I feel fantastic and I live every day to the max.
Man, oh man. First of all, can we just acknowledge what you both said? James, you just said you're going to be 72 years old on Christmas.
72.
Jennifer, I never ask women their age, but you volunteered it. You're 62, you said, or 63?
62.
62. So you guys are looking at a 62 and a almost 72-year-old who, in my personal opinion, literally, they just told me that like before we came on air, and I was like, come on, you're lying to me. I was like, you're lying to me. Like I said that. I was like, you guys look freaking amazing. Like, I mean, seriously, like if you aren't the walking billboard of age is just a freaking number, I mean, I don't know what else is. And I mean, the enthusiasm that you guys have to share this on and to let other people know. James, your mission, your reasoning for health and what you just said really just, I mean, when you said that, it shot chills in my body. When you said about your 3 grandsons and, you know, you said it like, if I stayed on the path, like I wouldn't be able to do nearly anything that I do. Right. I mean, you used to go to the mall, you said, and you would just say, hey, I'm going to sit here. Like you couldn't really even enjoy life. And now here you are. Tell everybody what you just actually signed up for. Like, what are you currently doing right now? What are you currently doing right now at the ripe young age of 72 years old?
Well, actually, I won't say I decided. Jennifer sort of suggested that, well, you know, let's do something outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, I've done the hang gliding, the tandem parachuting, the parasailing. So she said, well, why don't you look at signing up for a fitness physique contest? And of course, I was a bit hesitant, but then I got to thinking about it. I said, well, why not? Because again, age is just a number.
Yeah.
And you know, we like to have this say the slogan is you're never too old and you're never too young and it's never too late. So basically I have embarked on that path now. Now I'm not looking to be one of these bulked up bodybuilders. It'll just be to show that at age 72, because I will be 72 by the time I actually compete. So to show at age 72, you can still have lean muscle. You can still look good, you feel good, and you don't have to just sit around on the couch.
Wow. Wow. I mean, wow. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and James is the first ever Australian ISA body runner-up in 2020.
21.
21, was it? Oh, sorry.
2021. So James,
ever.
yeah. So James, basically you owe your entire life to your wife. So she got you into isogenics. She's suggesting to you to keep life fun, to make sure that you have adventure, to push the limits, to get you out of your comfort zone, to keep, I mean, she's like your lifeline is what I'm hearing.
Well, that's true. She led me to ERShred.
Yeah. I mean, she led you to the health. She led you to ERShred. She led you into, you know, setting this amazing, you know, this amazing feat. I tell you, I love your guys' mission so much. You know, I mean, to show people that it's never too late. You know what I mean? And I love that slogan. It's never too late. It's never too early. You know, health is our gift, right? It's our natural born gift. And it's my belief that everybody deserves epic optimal health. It's why I do what I do. I just think everybody deserves it. And there's no reason that we can't have it. And I mean, you guys are literally in my mind, walking examples of exactly what that defines. You know what I mean? It really is what that is. So now James, you, So let's dive into this. So you guys are doing isogenics, right? Now, what was it like when you guys first started isogenics? Kind of take us back to that beginning. I know, you know, you guys were both tired. James, you were, I mean, I can't believe you weighed that much. To look at you now, I mean, you're a shredded, leaning machine right there. I mean, what was life like kind of, well, you already explained that. I mean, what was it like when isogenics kind of came in? What happened when you guys started doing that? I guess if that's okay with you guys, let's start there.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, you know, when I finally decided to get off that lounge with the remote and start the isogenics, I went in whole hog. I got what was then called the President's Pack, which
Yes.
included everything.
Yep.
And I guess when I went into it, I knew that since Jennifer had already been using it, that I was going to get some of the same things that she was getting. And sure enough, like I said earlier, within probably the first 2 to 3 weeks, I could see a significant improvement. My energy level sort of began to spike as I began to lose the weight. And I think the first, probably the first 4 to 6 weeks, I dropped quite a bit of weight.
Yep.
And as a result of that, I began to sort of sleep a lot better. I would literally before toss and turn and would sometimes just be lying in bed praying for daylight. I can't wait to get out of this bed because I'm just not sleeping and I'm not comfortable here. And then I found that once I started to feel good and the energy level increased, then the time that I was spending in the gym was a lot more profitable. But I think the biggest light bulb for me back then was I should be spending more time and focusing on what I was putting into my body and a little less time in the gym, because I'm thinking that, well, if I spend 2 hours in the gym and I don't have to worry about my nutrition, I'm going to get some results. But obviously that didn't happen. So once I started focusing on what I was putting into my body, then the time that I spent in the gym began to pay dividends.
Amazing.
And going backwards a little bit, because James loves to cook. So before ERShred, we thought we were eating healthy.
Right.
We thought we did everything right, but nothing changed for us. And also with the intermittent fasting, James before ERShred says, "Oh, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to do ERShred. There's no way I cannot eat, not go without food." But now he's a cleansing machine.
Yeah. It's kind of funny it's crazy how we come up with all these things, right? Like I study a lot with personal development in the mind, and it's crazy. Like literally we start to believe what we tell ourselves, and from all the marketing and all the people that are out there. I mean, first it was, oh, I guess this is just how life is going to be. I'm getting older. Oh, I have to suck it up and just move on. And, oh, I'm not supposed to have energy. And, I think I'm eating this way. And then we come to find out that, my gosh, have we been radically lied to? And we're not going to dive into that on this, but I mean, we have not been told the truth when it comes to what the human being is supposed to fuel their body with, right? Like nature got it right. We tried to outsmart nature, and look at what's happened. Look at what's happened. I mean, for crying out loud, it's not even just America, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right? Obesity is through the roof. Children's obesity is through the roof. Chronic disease. I mean, we can't even keep up with it, despite the greatest advances in medical history of all time, and the smartest of individuals. You look around and all the doctors are sick. All the doctors are overweight. All of them are I'm just like, my gosh, how can you give me health advice, for crying out loud, and they shouldn't, but that's another whole thing. So I love the fact that you guys are breaking down myths and you guys are smashing those. So you get into isogenics, you both have amazing results. Obviously you start to have these realizations, right? I don't need to spend all this time in the gym, which I think a lot of people fall into that trap as well, right? We think we got to go to the gym for 2 hours every single day. And it's like, at the end of the day, when who the hell wants to do that? You know what I mean? Like let's be honest. And I did that too, guys. I did that too in the beginning. I was like, I thought the more time I spent, the bigger I'd get. Come to find out, like, I don't need to spend that much time at all, to be honest with you. I just need to do the right thing. And would you say, I always say 90% of the game is how we choose to fuel our body. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know there's 80-20, but I think 90% of the game is really what we choose. So, all right, so you have these amazing results. You're obviously rocking and rolling. You guys love isogenics. Obviously, I know you're sharing it with other people. Your daughter's in the mix and all that. What kind of happened? I mean, I know ERShred only came into your life now. How long have you guys been doing ERShred now?
Of March, about February, March of this year.
And March. Yeah, and for me, July. Well, one of the things that we evolved to after we had been on isogenics for a number of years was we decided that we were going to go vegan. And so, of course, we're eating all of the tofu. We're eating all of the lentils, the beans, and I'm spending tons of time in the kitchen and blah blah blah. And we were on that path for 3 years.
Wow.
prior to the ERShred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got okay. This plot just got even more interesting. I didn't know this. So you guys were vegans before ERShred came into your life for 3 years.
Yes.
3 years.
And over those 3 years, like how was your health? Did you notice it was thriving? Did you notice it was just kind of like okay? Like what was it like?
Well, I think when I look back now, I was just sort of like here,
Okay.
I didn't diminish. I didn't improve, and my weight pretty much stayed at level. I would fluctuate up and down, maybe 1.5 to 2 kilograms either up or down.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it. But one of the things that I found was that I was doing 1 e-shot a day.
Okay.
And then I found that now I need 2 e-shots a day. And then on some days, even with the 2 e-shots, I was feeling like, I still just don't have that energy level that I used to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you chalk that up to? Was that just like, oh, I'm getting older? Like, did that mindset come back again, or like, what did you think?
Well,
we didn't really think.
Yeah, I didn't really think. I was just
anything.
thinking that the e-shots, the e-shots just not working anymore.
So you kind of were just like taking it to take it.
Yeah, well, we didn't know. We didn't really know, to be honest. Yeah.
In fact, on some days, I was doing the 2 e-shots. I was having the amp nitro, just trying to get that extra boost.
Yeah.
And then once we tried the ERShred, I'm thinking, now this is interesting because when Jennifer started, I'm looking at her, and since I had not eaten meat for 3 years, I'm looking at her eating that steak.
Well, I started off with fish first.
Yeah.
So I started with fish first because I wasn't ready to dive straight into the meat.
Okay.
So I started with fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but when she decided to switch over to steak, and I'm looking at her like, are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're gonna be eating steak. And so I said, well, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing. And like I said, she started in March.
Yeah.
And it was not until July,
Just before the cruise.
just before we traveled back to the U.S. for a cruise and a visit with the twin grands there. And I remember the first time that I sat down, we were at a restaurant, and I said, well, okay, I'm going to order this burger with cheese, and I think it had bacon on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it arrived. I took the meat out of the bun, and I'm looking at it. And it's, well, can I do this?
You said this is not a lentil burger. This is not a lentil burger.
No, not a lentil burger. No.
Definitely not a lentil burger.
I took that first bite of that burger. I tell you, it was just I can't describe how it felt. Not having the taste of meat in my mouth for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then after the second bite, I looked at Jennifer. I said, "Well, it doesn't taste too bad." So after that, then the next day I went out and got the grass-fed steak.
Yeah.
And we were rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Got the nitrate-free bacon and everything.
Grass-fed butter.
Grass-fed butter.
Yeah. Were you at that point, Jennifer? Were you starting to do the dance? You like, yeah, he's finally in the meat. He's finally in the meat.
I think he saw how I was starting to feel. That's what got him on board.
So so James, she saves you again. I just want to put that on the record that it just keeps coming back to Jennifer, keeps saving you. So thank God she is in your life. For sure. So Jennifer, you were a vegan for 3 years. Mm-hmm. When you heard about first of all, how'd you guys actually hear about the ERShred?
I was just on another Osteogenics group, and they kept talking about the ERShred, and then I decided to join the group. Okay. And, nobody sort of actually mentioned about it. So I just was in the background just watching.
Yeah.
Looking at all the posts and all that. And I thought, and I was stuck because I got stuck with, again, going back to, like I said, 62, the menopause, the belly fat started to come into place, and I just wasn't feeling the best. I felt bloated. I just felt yuck.
Yeah, stomach pain.
And this is important because this is despite you guys eating super clean.
Yes.
This is despite you guys doing what you thought was right, which I know so many people. So, I mean, if this resonates with any of you, get in there and smash the comments, because I know there's so many people that are in this same spot. I hear this over and over and over again. They're like, I was eating all the vegetables. I was doing all this. I was limiting my red meat. I was limiting my fats. And I'm like, in my mind now, I'm like, warning, right? As you guys now know. And it's just crazy when you think about this. I mean, the amount of time, James, I mean, people don't realize what it takes to cook beans the right way. They don't realize the amount of energy that you got to put into becoming a vegan. I mean, it is like ridiculously hard. And I know that because I went that path myself for a little while. I didn't stay as long as you guys. Like I got out. I was like, oh, hell no, this is not for me. Like my whole body, like I was a big meat and protein guy. Like I was the opposite, but I just thought, I learned in nutrition school. I learned from these docs, I got brainwashed myself. And I didn't trust in my gut. You know what I mean? Is what I think happened despite all the education. But I mean, my body responded really bad to doing that. My wife, actually, when we did that, her iron dropped drastically, and we're both competitive athletes. So it's like, her hemoglobin, her iron, we have this company she works with that does blood tests for us and does all these, not like your doctor's blood test, but I'm talking like micronutrients and minerals, and they give us everything, and when I saw her blood work, it was like, blood don't lie. And it was like, whoa, like what the hell is going on? Like we're supposedly doing the thing the right way, and here we are suffering. Our athleticism has decreased, our strength has decreased, and I'm just like, this doesn't make any freaking sense whatsoever. So I just pulled the red flag real quick, and I was like, let's go, we're out, and we brought it back in real quick. But that's just fascinating to me that you guys were doing the so-called right way, and still struggling, you know what I mean? Still, James, you had your own thing. Jennifer, you had your own thing, not knowing what was going on. And so you find ERShred, Jennifer. And I mean, at first, like, you're in the group, you're a fly on the wall. If you're in the group, by the way, if you're not in the group, please get your ass in the group. Like, please get your ass in the group, like www.ershredders.com. Please don't forget to answer the 3 questions so you don't just sit in the queue. If you answer the questions, you're in like that. If you sit in the queue, you're going to sit in the queue, because we need that initial first thing from you. That's just a little side note, sorry. But get your ass in there, because would you say, like, the results are undeniable, right? Like, I mean, when you see thousands, I think we're at 26.3 thousand people right now. And I don't think we were there when you came in. We were probably at like 25 or something like that, if I get the timeline right. So we're talking like 1.3 thousand more people, right? 1.3 thousand more lives changed. But you're going from vegan with no meat at all, and then you see all these ridiculous transformations. Was it like hard to wrap your mind around it? Like, kind of take me to like where you were. Cause I think a lot of people are probably going to resonate with you guys and be like, okay, like this is where I'm at. They sound like me. And you want me to do what? Like, isn't that like make me have a cardiac arrest? Like, is my heart going to explode? Like, what were your initial thoughts? Like, I'm always curious to know that.
I mean, I thought, well, I had to do something different. The saying is, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I thought, well, I've got to do this. So I thought, I start off with the salmon, the salmon first.
Yep.
But I just had to do something different. So I went in, I said, this is it. I'm doing it all in. So I did the 11 days, incubated shakes, all the things in between.
Yeah.
So I just
You just got to a point that you had to go.
I had enough.
You had to change it. Now it took James almost 4 months of watching you before he did it. How long were you sitting in the group for before you said, okay, enough is enough, Jennifer?
Well, actually, I don't know how long Jennifer had been in the group, but then she one day she just told me, look here, I've invited you to join this group. And I'm like, what group is that? She said, it's the ERShred. So I just went ahead and accepted the invitation and joined the group, but I never went on the page or anything.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was just continuing to sort of cruise along with what I was doing, with the regular isogenics program.
Yeah.
And
still
then,
soaking your beans and still everything, all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, soaking those beans. It's sort of interesting. I look back now and I'm thinking, now we're going vegan, we're not eating meat, but I can't tell you how many times I will Google various recipes to try to make my tofu taste like meat. Chicken, taste like barbecue ribs.
Every vegan that tries to fight me, I go, can you answer me a question? Why is it that you try to make all your food taste like meat and yet you're against meat? Like, impossible this, beyond this, like, oh, it sizzles like meat, it bleeds like meat. I go, isn't that a sign? Like, are you not getting the sign from whoever you get your sign from? Like, why is it that everything is supposed to go back there? Because nature doesn't lie, right? So it's so crazy to see that.
Yeah. And the other thing, I guess, for me, I'm still sort of sitting on the fence because I'm thinking, okay, now if I've got to go back to eating, all of this meat. Now, for about 20 years, I was on blood pressure medication. Now, Now, keep in mind, this was back when I was, at my heaviest weight.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking, even though I had dropped the weight and was no longer on blood pressure pills, and my blood pressure was back the way it was when I was my lean athletic size in my 20s, I'm still thinking, well, if I start eating all of this red meat, am I going to end up with, clogged arteries? I'm going to end up, having to go back on this blood pressure medication. So after I decided to go ahead and dive into the ERShred, I got my little blood pressure monitor. I said, okay, I'm going to check my blood pressure every day for the next 30 days just to make sure that things are not going in the wrong direction. And, obviously things remain the same. So I'm thinking, well, okay, obviously eating this red meat is not so bad. But then the other thing that really got me was I said, how simple is this?
Yeah.
It's simple and it's effective. And I'm not spending any time hardly in the kitchen. And we have friends over and I open it. I say, take a look at our refrigerator.
Yeah.
I say, it's pretty much empty except for the meat that you see in there. I said, and the eggs, all of the stuff that we used to buy, half of it at the end of the week, I had to throw out because it had gone off.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to worry about that. So again, the simplicity, is what really, said that it works and it's simple.
Yeah.
And you can easily share this with other people to see how simple and effective. And the other thing is, for us, since we've started, people say, well, it's just this fad, it's not going to last. You're going to, gain the weight back or whatever. And I just sort of, laugh at them and sort of smile now.
Yeah.
So we pretty much have maintained ourselves since we started. And I don't see that it's ever going to be a problem because you can just easily incorporate it into your everyday lifestyle.
Yeah.
You're eating meat anyway. So
yeah. I know. It's so simplicity. How much time would you say realistically that you're now saving just in the kitchen alone? Just in the kitchen.
Well, let's put it this way. Whereas I was having to spend on average every day at least 1 to 2 hours, prepping and cooking in the kitchen. So if you figure I'll just say 2 hours every day. So that's 2 hours times 7 days. And
14 hours a week.
Yeah. So times 300 plus days out of the year, you can see how much time that you spend.
Yeah.
Now when it's dinner time, I got the old grill out there. Only thing I need to do is go out there, turn it on, let it heat up, throw those steaks on there, throw lamb or whatever else we need. And then within 10 minutes, it's coming off and we're ready to eat.
Yeah. So besides the amazing health, besides obviously thriving, besides the simplicity, let's just I want everybody to understand really, because when you choose to do something like this, you know, we always think of the weight and the body and the whatever, right? But you guys are sharing all non-scale victories, all amazing things in life, right? Thriving. You said 14 hours a week. I did a quick little calculation. That's 728 hours a year. A year. Is that right? 14 a week times 52 weeks, right?
Yep.
728 hours.
It's huge.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? There's 24 hours in a day. You saved, you ready for this? You've added 30 days. Almost literally you added an extra month onto every year is really how you can look at it. Have you ever thought of it that way?
Not really.
How crazy is that? You just literally, you gave yourself a month of time. So anybody that says, I don't got time, well, let me show you how to add an extra month to your year, right? With just saving time of prepping in the kitchen. Now, let's talk about the money aspect, right? Somebody's going to say, oh, well, Jesse, James, Jennifer, grass-fed meat is so expensive. And, grass-fed butter is so expensive. What would you guys say to that? How much food were you wasting? How much money were you wasting every single week, do you think?
Oh, I can't imagine, because, I love fruit, and, fruit is, the type of fruit that I like, mangoes, it's not really cheap, man.
It's not cheap.
I would usually, my daily routine was, I get up in the morning, I head to the gym, and then after I finish my workout, I head to the supermarket.
Okay.
And I do my little grocery shopping. So that was pretty much 5 days a week.
So there's more time, by the way. More time.
That's right. Yeah. So in terms of spending, again, not only am I saving time, when we look at it, we said, well, we're spending a whole lot less money now. When I first went into the butcher and I'm looking at the Scotch fillet steaks, and I'm thinking, I said, well, let me have 6 of those. And he said, okay, that'll be 30. I think he said like $30. I'm thinking $30. I said, well, throw a few more in there.
Yeah.
That's a lot less expensive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So for the two of us, I can tell you that what we do now is a lot less expensive than if we were going out to KFC to pick up, dinner for 2.
Yep.
Now, I always say to people that if you don't plan for what you're going to eat, the natural tendency is you're going to go for what's quick, fast, and convenient, and that
100%.
usually means fast food, processed food, or junk food.
100%.
Whereas with this, you're spending less money.
Yep.
You are feeding your body with good nutrition, less time prepping, and you're getting the benefits of not only feeling physically good, but let's not forget the mental part of it.
Yes.
I just wake up every morning, and I can remember back before I started with isogenics, and I would be in the midst of a conversation, and all of a sudden it's like, well, what was I saying? I've forgotten my train of thought.
Yeah.
And I had this little word game. It's called 4 Pitches that I would try to play. And I would sit there literally for hours and hours trying to come up with the answer. And then once I got the nutrition right, and you with the ERShred, now my grandson, he'll say, Papa, can we play 4 Pitches? And I'll sit there and just boom, 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 because your focus is so much sharper.
Yeah.
And see, with resourcing, we look online. We've got a farmer's market, so we source our meats from there because it's wholesale and it's cheaper. So there are ways to look for affordable meat.
In fact, when we finish this call, Jesse, we will be going to the market because we've already pre-ordered, and we will pick up our package for the week.
Just like that. Bing, bang, boom. In, out, done.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
exactly.
And you don't have to waste your time going into the store. Oh my God, what is this? Check it out, bringing it home, getting into there. Like you bring it, you throw it in your freezer, I'm done. Right? Like
Exactly.
it's that simple, it's that simple. So guys, this is amazing. I mean, the cognitive, function, the overall energy, the health, the well-being. Okay, so real quick, and we'll I want to try to wrap this up and stuff too. You guys have shared so much, and I'm so thankful for you both. Like, I mean, you're thriving. Like, I mean, we've already myth busted so many things, right? Money, time, eating all those plants. Like, let the freaking ruminant animal eat the plants, and then eat the animal because you're gonna get the plants anyways. You're gonna get all those phytonutrients. You're gonna get all those polyphenols. Like, people don't realize, like, there's actually science that shows that if you eat a high quality grass-fed ruminant animal, and that animal was eating the vegetation like it was supposed to, like nature intended, you're actually getting all of those benefits from that meat, except you're also getting all of the amazing high quality protein, and you're also getting all the amazing, animal fats and all the stuff that we thought was going to make us, explode and make our heart explode. Come to find out, it's not so much the case, right? Like you're thriving even more. What did you guys experience? I know you kind of shared tidbits along the way, but what was like your first initial, like, when you shredded, what were the biggest things, the biggest ahas, I guess, that you guys had?
So,
well, I'm going to jump in first
Okay.
because after about I think 4 or 5 weeks, Jennifer and I, we were sitting around, and I just sort of made the comment. I said, "Well, hey Jennifer, I just realized something. I haven't taken any Mobic or Panamax for my shoulder pain."
Now, what is that for people that's Advil, basically? Ibuprofen is
right.
in America. Okay.
And because I've always had problems with my shoulder, I guess for probably the past 20 plus years.
Yep.
My shoulders would just ache pretty much all day, and I just got to the point where I could tolerate it. And if it got to the point where I needed to take my prescribed Mobic or the over-the-counter Panamax, I just take that and just keep soldiering on.
Yep.
But again, after doing the ERShred, and then looking back and said, well, I haven't had to take the Panamax or the Mobic, and my shoulders are not aching. There was a time when I would struggle to do a 15-pound dumbbell shoulder press because the shoulders would just ache.
Yep.
Now I'm doing shoulder routines, and the first time I jumped and I said, I'm going to go with this weight, and I did it. I'm thinking, okay, now, am I going to have that shoulder pain afterwards? Well, no shoulder pain.
Unbelievable.
So obviously, again, not knowing what was causing the shoulder pain, and then, going back to the ERShred and sort of getting the body back to baseline, sort of eliminating everything, just eating the meat, and then slowly reintroducing. One of the first things that I reintroduced after doing my initial shred was broccoli. Okay. Now, keep in mind, broccoli had been a staple for 8 years every day.
Of course, you're a vegan.
Well, as soon as I reintroduced that broccoli, I began to sort of, have a little discomfort there. And I told Jennifer, I said, well, maybe that broccoli wasn't so good after all. Yeah. So again, you just sort of, when you're sort of struggling along, you just sort of take things that, well, it's just what you have to put up with and what you have to learn to live with. Not knowing that, well, no, you don't really have to live like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and just to let you know too, James is also a cancer survivor. So we're very blessed that he's all good.
Yes.
But health is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. Health is wealth for sure. Right. What was one of the big ahas for you, Jennifer?
Well, rewind the clock a little bit. So with COVID, we started working from home. I think it worked, was it like for 2 years? We were locked down. We go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then when we opened up, James was going to the gym. And I just didn't have the oomph. I just wasn't interested. Just didn't have the energy.
Yeah.
But once I did the ERShred, the word "come alive." Now I know what it means, because before it's like, okay, what's this "come alive"?
Yeah.
What does it actually mean? Is it just a saying?
Yeah.
But I literally now know what the word "come alive" is, because now I go to the gym because I want to. I feel, and I don't know whether this is the right word to use, but euphoric. I have this
Yes.
this feeling
Yeah.
all the time. It's just it's undescribable. It's
Crazy, right?
a feeling of just greatness.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
energy, alive,
Yeah.
and you know we struggled to get up before like 7. If we got up before 7 o'clock, it was like, ugh. Now we're up at 5:30, 5:45. We're up.
Yeah.
Now we're
Yeah.
sleeping better.
Yeah. So you're saving 30 days just from just from cooking. You're adding multiple hours to every day because you can actually get your butts out of bed. You're saving, I don't know how much time from going to the grocery store and doing all of that. You're saving, I don't know how much money from not throwing out all the food. You both
Yep.
feel rock star amazing. You look freaking amazing. Obviously, you look so happy and healthy. You both haven't stopped smiling and giggling and laughing, the entire call. I mean, can we just keep making a checklist? Like, I mean, I don't know what else somebody has to hear or what they need to know, but like, if you're looking for a sign, hashtag, here's your freaking sign. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to tell you how it is. Like, here's your sign, right? I mean, these guys are walking, examples of what it can be. And the only way that you'll ever know is if you just give it a go. The only way you'll ever know is if you just give it a go. And I get it, right? We can appreciate that it's hard. We can appreciate all the stuff that's out there and all the things that we've learned. But if something's not right, like Jennifer said, if something's not right and you feel that it's not right, maybe it's time to push whatever's not working from you and to quit, right? People always assume that quitting is bad, right? I think high-level people should quit more often and a lot faster. If you realize something's not working for you, maybe it's time to quit that and try something else. So maybe it's time for you listening. If you're not feeling right, if everything you've done is so-called healthy and you're following the books and it's just not sitting with you, maybe it's time that you quit and just kind of jump in like these guys did and see what can happen, right? Do it your way. There's no right and wrong, but it's like, what do you got to lose? You know what I mean? Like, what do you really got to lose? 11 days? I mean, gosh, James, even if you lost 11 days, you'd still be net positive because of how much time you've lost. It's just absolutely nuts. It's so nuts. So that whole come alive thing, as Sharon said last week, I don't know if you guys watched that, but she's like, man, I thought that was a crock of shit. Just do it out. Sharon, she just,
Right.
she's like, I thought you guys were blowing like that. And that whole come alive thing is not just a thing. I mean, we really mean that. Like, when you fuel your body properly, the way nature intended us to do, the ancestral way combined with the 21st century, I always describe it as like, it's like, I don't know what day it will be. Maybe it's day 4, maybe it's day 5, maybe it's day 7. Everybody's a little bit different, right? Some people it's taken more than 11 days, but it's almost like you wake up one day and it's like you flip a light switch on, right? And when you flip the light switch on, it's like magic, right? Light comes on and everything's there. That's how I experience that in my body, right? It's like somebody flipped the light switch on and I was like, whoa, like what the hell? Just like blew into me, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's how it feels, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing I'll sort of add is I remember after I did the shred, I'm sitting on the lounge and it was about 9:30, and normally I would stay up until sometimes maybe 11:30. I said, Jennifer, I think I'm gonna turn it in. And you're talking about baby sleep. You sleep so good. You feel so relaxed. It's not like you go to bed, you get your 8 to 9 hours, but when you wake up, you still feel tired, run down, like you really didn't get a good night's sleep. So this is just such a good, relaxing sleep. And then again, as Jennifer said, with just the way that you feel. When I wake up, I look outside. It's like I say, I just cannot believe that I feel as good as I do, and I can do the things that I could do when I was in my 20s. I even went out to the basketball court. Now, I used to be a pretty good slam dunker. Now, I can't get up there to slam dunk the ball, but I can still get up there to the rim. And I'm thinking, how many 72-year-olds would be able to get out there and do that. Even getting out and running. I was a pretty good track star. Now, I'm not as fast as I used to be, but I can still get out there and probably outdo some of the 20 and 30-year-olds.
Hell yeah.
So again, just that feeling that, hey, there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
And I have to throw into my daughter, who introduced us to ERShred, is a type 1 diabetic. And she cannot wake up in the morning. I used to have to call her 10, 11, 12 times in the morning to get up to go to work. She lives in her own place, but the phone would just go to voicemail. So she decided to do the ERShred, and she's getting up at 6:30 in the morning. Wow.
And that's a miracle in and of itself.
That is a miracle for her to do that.
This is like music, like musical notes are playing over my heart. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes me so happy to hear these stories, guys. Like, everybody deserves this. Everybody deserves to feel epically amazing every day. And again, listen, guys, the disclaimers are across the bottom.
Yeah.
Check them out. We're not telling you that we can treat you or cure you or prevent disease. We're not the replacement for your doctor. We're not the replacement for your medication. But boy, oh boy, can we not deny the real life stories. I mean, I'm not telling you anything made up. I mean, these are real life people, real life stories, and we hear this over and over and over and over again, right? People are going back to their doctor, and their doctor's like, "What the hell?" Like the doctors are shocked. They're like, "I don't understand. Like, what did you do? How did you mitigate this? We need to remove this from your life now. Not writing another one, but we need to remove it." Because it's dangerous that you're actually on it, right? If you're on blood pressure medication, you don't need it, it's dangerous. If you're on, insulin and you don't need it, it's dangerous, right? And obviously your daughter being a type 1, it's very different than type 2, but yes. I mean, it's just such an amazing thing. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your heart. Let's wrap this up. What else do you guys got? Is there anything I didn't ask you? Is there anything else that either of you would like to share? To anybody who's out there watching?
Well, I found that on the protocol, the intermittent fasting, the component of it was so much easier.
Okay,
oh my
good.
Gosh. I don't know why, but I just breezed through 2 days.
Yeah.
Not feeling hungry, not thinking about food. That's one of the benefits I found as well. And I'm really passionate about I feel more aligned that I can share this. Not that I didn't feel aligned about sharing the traditional way, but this is more empowering. I really feel passionate about this.
Yeah. And when you feel that, it's easy, right? Like it's like a calling, you know what I mean? Like I wake up every day going, who can I serve? It's the first question I ask when I get out of bed. I go, who needs me today? Like, who can I serve today? That's a good feeling. I mean, think about how many people just dread waking up, What about you, James? Anything that's left on your mind at all?
Well, I think one of the things that I look back on now, and I keep reminding myself, and sometimes I'll even put the comment out on various posts, and that is, when people say that they either don't have time or they don't have the resources, one of the things that I say is, how can you afford not to prioritize your health and your fitness? Because if you don't prioritize your health and fitness now, slowly but surely, it's going to sort of catch up with you. And usually it's going to catch up with you in a very negative way. So again, for anyone that's out there, if you are struggling, you feeling like you just don't have that mojo like you used to have, you don't have that energy, you don't have that zip, and you're just not enjoying life to the fullest, ERShred.
For sure.
And you're never too old, you're never too young, and it's never too late.
Ding. I mean, what else can you say, I mean, gosh, guys, like I can't thank you enough. We didn't even tap into how this has impacted the relationship, how this has impacted, the thinking that, I mean, you touched on it a little bit, obviously, but the relationship with you guys, the relationship with life, the relationship with other people, how it's impacted the energy in your careers. Jennifer, I know you're still working. Obviously, you work for the government there, and what's the energy level there and the focus there. And I'm sure it's very stressful how you're managing that. Obviously, you shared a little bit about your daughter. Like, I mean, we could go for another hour with all of that, right? Would you guys
Yeah.
agree? Like there's so much change in that, you know, that we could literally, you know, do a call number 2 and just focus on all of that now that we kind of got all this out of the way. So, and to think you guys have really only been doing this for a handful of months, right? I mean, you were vegan for 3 years. Can you imagine 3 years down the line, you know, ERshredding, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, what life is going to be like? Like, I'm going to come back and James is going to be like, whoa, you know, and I mean, even though he doesn't want to be like that, like, it's like, you don't realize, like, when you fuel the body that way, you know, especially as we age, I'm so grateful that this has found you guys, because from the research that I know and from what I've learned and heard, this is probably the best gift that has ever fallen down into you guys. And again, Jennifer, you're the superhero here, because you decided to go first, and you know, while your daughter obviously introduced you to Isagenix, and then from there you were able to kind of get this pathway. And it's just so amazing to see how life works and how the universe kind of comes full circle. And you know, you then obviously helped your husband, and I mean, you know, I mean, look at you guys, it's just so amazing. So I can't thank you guys enough. I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys have lit, and when I say you guys, I mean Australia, New Zealand, and I know you guys were a part of that, obviously, when Jackson came back from Celebration, and you know, all of that, and you guys teaming up together. But I mean, the fire that you guys have relit again, to reignite this again, to keep it growing, to bring the new excitement, to bring the enthusiasm. Like, we as a board are so grateful, because our mission is the same as yours. Like, everybody deserves epic health. That's really, at the end of the day, what this is about. You know what I mean? It really, truly is. And I mean, to have that extra, and when everybody can come together on a collective same page, boy, is it magical. Boy, is it magical, right? I mean, look at that group. It's magical. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate, you know, working with the time zone, and really kind of, you know, doing everything and making it work. And I don't want to take any more of your time up. I want you to get out there, make that very fast trip to the farmer's market, get your stuff in the freezer, and enjoy another epic day together of life, because man, you guys are just so thriving. And James, I will be your biggest cheerleader in your physique competition. You know, if you need a little, I know you're teamed up with a really good coach. I know that man personally, and he's a good guy, and his wife is amazing too. But I will be your biggest cheer. Well, really your wife, and then obviously me. She keeps saving you, so I'll just sit there with my pom-poms, and like, you know, and I'll just keep cheering you on. But I'm so grateful for you guys, and I really, really appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you. We enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I hope you all got something out of this. Please do me a favor. Jump into the comments. Let these guys know, what did you get out of this? Did you resonate with anything? Are you feeling stuck? If you've been on the ERShred, what have your experiences? Drop it in. Make sure you smash the share button, because sharing is freaking caring, and everybody needs to at least have the opportunity to learn, because then they can make an informed, educated decision for themselves. And I sure do hope you choose to at least honor yourself and give yourself those 11 days to just see what this is all about. Every Tuesday, you'll catch another one of these. Every other Wednesday right now through the holidays, you'll catch our Shred Your Testimonial call on Wednesdays, which is led by our one of our co-founders, Sean Escobar. You know, so make sure you jump on there. And again, www.ershredders.com. If you are not in that group, get your ass in that group now. And I don't usually tell people, but you got to get in there. Like, just, it's free. It's freaking free. Just get in there and see what this is all about. You deserve epic health. We appreciate you all. We hope you all have an amazing night. Bye-bye.